What? Whoa! Huh? What? The castle's flying!
Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Ape Escape. In the last part we started off the final level of the game, a Monkey Madness, and now we've finished off the intro theme park portion, so it's time for us to actively reach Specter's castle. But first, a little distraction. In the crater that it left behind, there is a teleporter for us at the center of it that we need to use to actively get up there, as well as I think a Specter coin on top of it. But there is a very easy to miss monkey who I have missed several times just around this corner. I forget if you can come back down here when you teleport up to the castle, because honestly, I always try to make sure I remember this monkey because I never wanted to find out what happens. Now, this is probably the point in the game where if you have a lot of lives, you're probably going to end up using a lot of them in this next 20-minute-ish section, because it's without a doubt the hardest part of the game, at least in terms of just pure level. Theoretically, the final boss is harder. Theoretically is the key word there. I remember when I first played this game, I didn't understand that was meant to be the city beneath us in that background down there. I thought it was some weird cybernetic matrix. Very easy to find Specter coin. So, while we've reached the castle, we can't enter the front door. There's a monkey gate there that requires, I believe, at least 3 monkeys caught up here. So we gotta go searching over here along this right side pathway. Or actually, it only requires 2. I genuinely don't remember. I think it only requires 2 that spawn once this cutscene we're about to see happens. Because now that they've pressed that button, this place is waking up. And we even get the music again. Kind of surprised they don't do any unique music for this section, but oh well. Now, we want to be super careful here, because not only is there that monkey here that you can only get in this section, so make sure you grab them now, but there's another very easy to miss switch that you need to get to that monkey, as well as a very easy to get hit while grabbing Specter coin. I believe if you touch the propellers here, it's just straight up damage. I don't think they kill you, but hey, better safe than sorry, you know? So once we go back outside, we're gonna have to deal with 2 UFO monkeys, and something I should warn you about that I believe we even end up seeing happen is you should only aggro one of the monkeys at a time, because it'll just keep them from shooting you, one from shooting you while you're aiming at the other. But also you need to be careful about their animations, because this could theoretically, I believe, happen with any of the UFO monkeys. But these 2 in particular like to have a glitch happen where their hitbox separates from their animation, so you need to kind of lead your shots slightly out in front of or behind wherever they are. Thankfully, these aren't any kind of super UFOs. They still take 3 of any given shot, and they're down, and at that point you can just catch them, and once we hit them both, we can actively enter the castle. If you start taking a lot of damage in this section, by the way, you can always come back out to this entrance area because there is a cookie jar right outside. And this thing is desynced from its hitbox. You can even tell that based off the shadow. When this happens, it's never truly game over. You just have to keep an eye on where this, the shadow is in comparison to the actual machine. Definitely a little awkward to pull off, though. Oh, yeah, okay, so you only have to catch those 2 to get here. Alright, so you can completely ignore the one down there. You probably shouldn't, but oh well. And, I seem to sense something. I sense inconvenient level design because they want you to play all the levels twice at a minimum in this game. Why is that? Well, right beyond this door might be our good old friend, the box that the monkeys are kept in that we need the final tool to get. It's in particular just to my right now. There it is. I maybe understand doing that for the final level, but again, I wish they made it so there was more than just one potential monkey you could miss, because it really makes these levels feel like you're doing unnecessary backtracking for them. Now, while the early sections of Monkey Madness are indeed vast between the 4 different sections that the theme park is split into, the castle is the most of the meat of the area. You can easily take a good while just exploring this area, getting lost in some of its back and forth pathways, looking for wherever that last monkey might be. But honestly, the biggest pain in the ass about it is the enemies. We got a lot of those spinning enemies back from the second world in here, but we also have a lot of monkeys who will just try to do whatever they can to get in your way, as well as some unique enemies that only show up here. With that said, this area does do a fantastic job, like I believe I mentioned last part, of using every single one of your tools. You're especially going to usually, in my experience, end up using the RC car and the propeller, though, so keep those on your quick select more often than the rest, I feel. Slingshot as well, but maybe not as much the slingshot. There's only a couple times that really comes into play from memory. Also, I do like how the monkeys here have a completely different texture set, like they actually have like spacesuits on. It's a minor detail, but I like it. They would really take that idea and run with it in the later games, because in this it's like, I think these monkeys have a different outfit, the standard monkeys have an outfit, and besides them, it's like, I think the ice monkeys over in the ice world have like snow gear, and that's really about it from memory. Ape Escape 2 and especially Ape Escape 3, like, it feels like every third monkey has a slightly different outfit on. It's really cool. It really adds a bit more to the charm of the world. Like, if I recall, if there's like a snow level in Ape Escape 2 or 3 and the monkey is just wearing shorts, if you use the monkey radar, you can read their thoughts in those games. It's usually something along the lines of, I'm freezing. Very easy to miss extra life in Specter coin here, by the way. I believe that was the last one I found in the game on my first run. And the entire reason we did that was so we can come up here from this room from above, so we can press these and then head on from there. Also, I forget if I mentioned this early on, because I've been doing it the entire LP. You can swap your tools in one of two ways. You can either press start and then go to the, I think it's the circle button to swap your tools from there, or you can be like I remember to later on in the LP, as we've seen, and just press the select button. During my practice run, I entirely used the pressing start, then the button method to switch my weapons. Doesn't exactly make it harder, but it definitely makes the levels move a little slower. Alright, so this section has easily probably not only one of the hardest to find monkeys in this level, but also one of the hardest to catch. And these are two separate monkeys for very different reasons. We also have the rare, true, kind of difficult time platforming puzzle. We need to hit that rotating switch to make the eyes on this particular monkey statue extend in an almost disturbing fashion in order to reach the end of the level. I may have had to take that a couple more tries than I'd like to admit. Again, the platforming in Ape Escape 1 isn't inherently hard, but the clunk in the controls is noticeable after all these years because it's just not as smooth as Ape Escape 2 or 3 or really in most PS2 games, period. And yet it runs better than half the PS3's library. Oh, 7th gen. We loved you, but you caused us pain. It is weird that we're finally in the 9th gen of consoles to me. Getting a little ahead of myself here because I don't even own a PS5 yet when I really want to. I guess I technically own a Switch, but Nintendo's handhelds seem to be on like almost half generation. Or not handhelds. Nintendo's consoles almost seem to be on like a half generation kind of deal because they come out at such different dates than everything else. I do wonder if we'll eventually see like a PS5 remake of any of these games in some regard. I know there was that whole thing on Twitter where they looked like for the 20th anniversary they were building up to something, when all they seemed to be building up to at the end of the day was like a, hey, thanks for liking our games, and like some t-shirts that are Sometimes cool, sometimes disturbing. That was a bit of a bummer to see happen. It's the big anniversaries for games like this that when nothing happens, you just feel sad about. With that said, this is without a doubt the most annoying RC car monkey in the game, because there are 2 exits it can come out of, one right below me and then one right across the way from me on the other side of this room. And this monkey just likes to run in figure 8s. I think you're implied to be able to pincer attack from both above and the side, and he can shoot me from down there. Technically fair, but still annoying. This monkey can take a while to actually capture. I'd argue this is the hardest individual monkey to capture in the game, if only because you're so open to attack from most of the points of view it has, whereas you can only capture it such a limited venture, or such a limited venue. This sucks. I'm speeding it up because I don't like it. It's bad. Again, usually these types of monkeys were a bit easier to capture in the sequels. Usually a keyword. I want to say maybe if you have the RC car explode into them, they might get stunned in such a way that they're more likely to run outside of the cage, but I think I'm just completely reading into that as a placebo effect sort of deal, so oh well. But hey, we caught him, so it all worked out. And we still have 5 monkeys left to go. Although from here on out, barring the one that's in that box that we can't open until after we've beaten this very level, all the monkeys moving forward are along a very straight path. The rest of this level, in fact, is a very straight path. We're, by and large, past the figuring out where to go section. It's just now surviving what they're going to throw at us, because the latter portion, last maybe third of this level, really wants you dead. Between very strong enemies at very regular intervals and very, let's say, narrow platforms above instant death, it starts to get kind of rough. This room in particular is especially guilty of that. And they are very aware of it, because you may notice that extra life was encased in a little green jewel. Every time you die, that extra life respawns, and there's roughly one of those per screen throughout the rest of this world, rest of this level. So they know this is harder, and they don't want to outright punish you for it. Again, this game isn't exactly a very hard game. Also, you can dodge the electrical fence by either going underneath it, and I think you can go above it with the propeller. I just never really like to do that because it's ultimately slower. Again, the propeller's biggest problem is that it's a little bit slow in terms of its horizontal movement or its lateral movement compared to its vertical. This is where you especially have to be careful! Oh, shit. And there's another extra life. Well, at least I got the one I lost back and then some. Admittedly, I genuinely do not remember what happens if you get a game over in Ape Escape in terms of like the punishment. I'm not sure if it's a sort of, all right, you're back to your last save sort of thing. If it is, you should save after every level. I'm not sure if it's a restart the level over again with none of the monkeys you've captured intact sort of thing. It's been a hot minute, so I genuinely just do not remember. Also, I don't know why I find capturing that monkey particularly satisfying. Just be careful jumping back to that conveyor belt, because it's very easy to miss this jump up, because your controls get a little weird, and then you gotta walk all the way back up there. Whoops. This level, though, at least the last portion of this level, goes by pretty quick, because you're not really messing around in terms of going up, down, and sideways. You can go behind me in that section, I believe, to reach an extra life, or maybe some more chips for your extra lives. It goes by pretty quick. The slowest portion of it is honestly probably the last portion of main level, which we'll see at the very end of this. This poor monkey has no idea what's coming to him. And I missed! God damn it! It's such a dumb feeling in these games when you're that close to capturing a monkey, but you're off by like a solid foot in front of you, either just due to the camera being in an awkward position or because you just straight up missed. The worst with that is honestly probably Ape Escape 3, because not only can monkeys punish you a bit more on that one when we eventually get to it, but also Ape Escape 3 does this thing where when you're about to capture a monkey, I want to say Ape Escape 2 does this as well, but don't quote me on that. The game goes slightly slow-mo to be like, whoa, here comes the capture. And they especially do that on the last time you need to capture a monkey in a level before exiting it for the first time. And missing that because the monkeys dodge out of the way with like a clever jump, it hurts. It hurts a lot. Also, two of the easiest to miss monkeys I find are in this particular section of the level. One of them is straight ahead of me, right above the door we entered the area on. Whoa, boy, that was close. The other one from memory we reached using an elevator using the RC car. But there's also a really weird mechanic during the latter half of this particular screen, so to speak. There's going to be 2 rotating switches on either side of the platform we're going to be on. And from the distance, little laser discs are going to be fired at us. They're actively platforms. You need to spin the rotating switches to make more or less an air hockey guard block the disc from going onto the platform underneath you. At which point, if you block it, you can jump on it and it'll then fly back to its origin. It's such a weird mechanic. It's only used here. I think they could have done some interesting stuff with it, but it's really underutilized. The other 2 switches in this elevator, by the way, extend bridges out in either direction, but you can just reach the other side by using the propeller. Also, I gotta admit something very minor that I love about this stage. A lot of these, like, space-type stages we see in games like this tend to be very, like, Space Colony Arc from Sonic Adventure 2, very blue and gray. This area uses a lot of different colors for no real reason, just other than looking fancy. Like, we got a lot of reds, a lot of blues, a lot of pinks, a lot of purples. Not that Space Colony Arc didn't use a lot of other colors, but it's primarily used, like, gray, green, and red, I think. Also, any giant robots you've seen in this stage that are enemies, you can fight them. It's not worth doing, but they do drop an extra life, just like the one did back in the... I forget the name of the level right before Specter's Factory, but the level before Specter's Factory. But yeah, here's the air hockey platform. This is weird. I wish they used it a little more because it's honestly a pretty unique mechanic that I don't really see many other games utilize something like. You know, I smell a mini-boss. I wonder why. And unlike other mini-bosses, I think you actively do have to fight this one. This one will shoot a flamethrower at you, but you can just easily combo it by the single stun club swing, so it doesn't really get much of a chance to do anything. But hey, 3 extra life. I'll take it. 23 total now. And us hitting this switch makes the Specter painting at the very start of the castle area open up, revealing the elevator to the final boss. But with that, I'm going to need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 11, we're going to go finish off the main game and then start off our post-game quest. See you guys then.